Bella, meno male. E niente, perciò, bella rega, volevo fare quello che ho pensato, cioè streamare Netflix, che è un'idea che mi è venuta poco fa, ma penso che sia una cosa spettacolare, perché se uno streama Netflix si può vedere non solo i film gratis per gli altri, ma si può vedere dei film insieme ad altri amici che non sono nello stesso paese e fare qualche commento insieme mentre si guarda il film, eccetera, eccetera, bla bla bla. Per dire un esempio, però volendo uno si vede quel cazzo che gli pare. Afterlife. Mm. Ad esempio, cosa vorreste vedere? Hi, benvenuto. Welcome. Welcome to my life. The Order. I don't know where I show. Oh, I don't know where I show. Che cos'è? What is it? Z-Nation. Stazione 3 dal... Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Va bene, la mia lista. Vediamo un poco. Allora, non so sinceramente cosa potrei spiaccicare qua sopra. Strafatti in cucina. Trump. Cazzo, cioè... Cazzo, rola. Allora... Murder Mountain. Ah, cazzo, vi voglio far vedere questo, rega. Come hanno trasformato la Humboldt di California in Murder Mountain. L'unico problema è che ci sono i sottotitoli, ma non è un problema.
It's this car that I'm driving. I'm not even steering it. It feels like.
Okay, guys.
Recently, there's been
There
an
is 40
influx.
minutes for seeing this. If we want to see, okay, I make it, and after, I don't know if see all this, but if I not see, I exit and play because I can play. I want to play, but after I make a joint, and this time we can see this.
A lot of angst in these woods.
Thanks for showing,
I don't know, it's
and
like-
good see you.
Something with the energy.
So, where do you think that angst comes from?
Honestly, probably a lot of spirits, like just people killed, and there's all kinds of crazy stories. This one guy, he was doing a 20-pound deal, and instead of bringing money to the deal, these guys brought a hammer and pounded the guy's skull in, pretty much. It happens a lot. When it comes time to reap what you sow, things always seem to get a little shady. Welcome to Murder Mountain.
Questa raga è Murder Mountain, Humboldt, California. Un posto che prima praticamente era popolato da hippie nudi che costruivano le casine per stare allo stato bravo, senza nulla che di inquinabile, polizia, bordelli, Poi la polizia ha iniziato a fare arrivare le cotte, cazzi e mazzi, loro sono andati e sono rimasti solo i delinquenti. E quindi, poi giustamente è diventato un mortello, ma realmente, davvero senza la parola. Ma per colpa della polizia, perché se non avessi iniziato a fare guerra agli hippie che non sapevano nulla di male, perché vivere di natura, cioè proprio non spendere anche soldi, non guadagnano soldi, non riesce a compra. È iniziato a diventare la montagna del bordello. Questa è una città, sembra Sembra di una post-apocalittica, non so quello che vuole. Cioè, raga, boh. Ma tutto questo grazie alla polizia, cioè diciamo polizia tra virgolette, ma grazie allo Stato che tempo addietro ha tartassato i poveri hippie e quelli stufi se ne sono andati e sono rimasti solo chi voleva fare soldi a tutti i costi, i delinquenti, appunto. Certo, perché giustamente. Vabbè, comunque scherzi a parte, raga, è veramente molto interessante questa cosa. Non parla delle spiegazioni di quello che serve, però racconta di quello che succede. Le cose da 4 mesi, niente, ora che le cose da 4 mesi non ci abita più nessuno, tutto quello sta cambiando. Beh, certo.
What has happened, what I've seen, is that the ethos of the previous generation, which was tied to environmentalism and hippie ideals, has kind of gone out the window.
There's no doubt that recently there's been an influx of violent crime in Humboldt County, with the biggest spike in armed robberies.
We're seeing a rise in violence already. There are the ultimate violence of murders going on that's always kind of been, but it's definitely got a rise going.
I mean, there was always violence. You just didn't always hear about it. More money. When you get, like, real money at stake, there is definitely that element.
There's a dark underbelly, and I think that part of it is who you hang out with, whether you invite that into your environment. They met the wrong people.
Honestly, would you ever go into the woods with a stranger? Maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you should have friends of a friend or have a reference. That's common sense.
We're seeing more people robbing each other, neighbors robbing each other, workers robbing their employers, because people aren't making as much money and they want a grandiose piece of the pie.
As reported in last week's news, Garrett Rodriguez has been reported missing by his father. Garrett's friends and family refuse to give up searching for him.
I just want to find out where my son is, because I haven't heard from him and he normally stays in contact with me.
We felt a little bit of relief that at least
questo povero uomo, padre di un ragazzo che è sparito, non ha mai saputo
on the trail to find Garrett.
Fino a un certo punto poi. Sapevano gli altri ma lui no.
We spent the first few months getting nowhere. When you have a industry that their product is illegal, they don't want to bring attention to themselves. And talking to an investigator is part of that.
Voi avete distrutto quel mondo e averlo trasformato
Alder Point's
in un
always been known to be
di delinquenti e drogati.
Outlaw town. No better way to put it. And people living up here, they pretty much stick together on things. Mind your own damn business, they say.
You gotta have a certain mentality up here to kind of survive, and it is, I'd say, kind of corresponds to that of a soldier.
Living up here, you better be tough. Let me tell you, like, you don't got friends, you know people that are like that, they get really tough.
Me, I keep to myself. It's the best way to be, you know.
The first time I seen a paper saying that he was missing and had a picture of him, I seen it at the bottom of Rancho Road. And I knew that it was the boy I had seen. And his truck was in the picture also. His truck was still around. I was driving down the road and I seen that very same truck. I said, who's driving that truck? Someone who shouldn't have had the truck. Well, I went and told Sherry. She was my best friend. Right off the bat, we were in it together. We talked about it, trying to find things out. Sherry and I we were going to find out where this boy was.
Povero ragazzo. C'ha pure una faccia conosciuta, che buono, sembra di averlo visto. Ma proprio di questo.
Are you guys good?
Tutto questo perché c'è una guerra, una pianta che non hanno fatto male a nessuno, l'hanno trasformata tutto quello che gira attorno in un omicidio continuo.
'Cause 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 'c
coltivare, fare, dire, fumare non riguarda niente non ha niente a che vedere con la violenza.
I'm building a company. Dookie Brothers. People want this brand, and it's gonna happen. I wake up and I need 2 cups of chamomile and about 8 bong hits to just get normal. Yeah, over and over, man. People try to tell me, and I doubt myself every once in a while, but I'm like, it's this car that I'm driving. I'm not even steering it. It feels like I'm just in the car and it's going. So I'm gonna keep going on this ride. Okay. Come on in. Okay. The amount of mold in here, yeah, this should be destroyed. Left side of the greenhouse. Here.
That's not cool, man. We work all the year and you don't want to pay us, man.
You guys fucking molded my shit. You molded 2 of my greenhouse.
That was your fault, man.
My fault.
Yeah.
Because you didn't do the job like I asked you to do.
True, you don't want to pay us.
I don't want to pay you, you're right. You guys were losers, dude. You guys are losers that don't even have a real job. Look, why are you smiling, you motherfucker? You're a fucking asshole. I'm getting heart palpitations talking to you guys about it. Yeah, your problem is to make me pay you. So how are you going to do that?
So you're going to rip us off?
I'm going to rip you off? I'm going to give you what you deserve.
Right, they're heading to the truck.
I need to bong it. You try to be professional in this business, but I guess that's what you get when you don't hire professional people either.
Cazzo, sono qua, porco dio. Sono qua, in Italia ce ne sono volontari, professionisti, ma ti sbattono in galera, cazzo. Ok, ti hanno fatto qualche minchiato?
There's broken glass in here.
Come sono?
I guess there's a rock.
Gli hanno rotto la sinistra. No, bellissimo. No, fagliela fare, gli hanno rotto la sinistra. Ma che basta, cioè pensa che gente, cioè in diretta mentre stanno facendo un film, cioè dai.
You try to be professional in this business, but I guess that's what you get when you don't hire professional people either. And I'm not very professional. I'm striving to be professional too. So.
Shit. There's broken glass in here.
I guess there's a rock through the window over here. This is tough. It's tough, and this is another reason I'm glad for regulation. And that's why I'm doing everything with contracts through my lawyers. This was the last of the black market kind of coughed its way out. So I'm done with it. I actually have a property up on Murder Mountain. I have 10 acres up there. I'm very familiar with that property, and the rumors are true. Murder Mountain. I actually have a property up on Murder Mountain. I have 10 acres up there. I'm very familiar with that property, and the rumors are true. Murder Mountain. It's fucked up.
Come hanno trasformato il mondo di una pianta che non fa niente.
She was the first person that ever spoke to me in Rancho. She came over to my house to welcome me, which nobody did back then. Sherry didn't care if people got mad at her about snooping around where she didn't belong. She didn't give a shit what people thought. She's a mother. Me and her. That's all you can think about is that boy going home to his family. He needed to go home to his family. He didn't need to be up here.
We got a call that someone had seen Garrett's truck in southern Humboldt. That was the first big break. Because now I have a truck.
And it was still registered to him. That was the interesting part to us, is that somebody out there still had a vehicle that was registered to Garrett Rodriguez. According to DMV's records, it was still in his name.
So I thought, okay, law enforcement has to be interested in this. They weren't.
We tried to get law enforcement involved in it. Our goal was to get law enforcement to take the truck and process it as evidence. But they considered it not a law enforcement issue. I believe also the issue is that it was in private hands. It was on private property at the time. So we actually went out to Rancho, took pictures of the truck to verify that, yes, this is the location of the truck. And we got clearance to turn the truck back over to the family.
It was totally trashed. It was practically a brand new truck. I remember Sherry told me that she talked to the family's investigator over the phone. She said that the investigator had called the detectives or whatever, and they showed such a little amount of interest. Sherry was pissed off.
Trasformano le cose buone in merda e poi lasciano che si sciolgano. C'era uno scherzo che fa? Lo sto spostando nella strada? Cosa sta facendo? Che cazzo?
You got some work to do here.
I had some squatters come in during the winter and they trashed this place. I have another couple days of cleaning up to do.
Illegalmente.
I was growing in Ventura County in 2000. The cops came and they kicked my door down. Did 6 months in jail and I had 4 to 5 years probation. Stayed straight and narrow for 4 years, got my record expunged. The day I got it expunged, I went back to smoking again. It's starting to look like I'm the only legal grow up here. It's creepy. I don't see any cars. I hear neighbors shooting guns. That's about it. I'm the only legal grow up here. It's creepy. I don't see any cars. I hear neighbors shooting guns. That's about it. I'm the only legal grow up here. It's creepy. I don't see any cars. I hear neighbors shooting guns. That's about it. That's an every day occurrence. It's probably 22. If I see anybody walking on my soil, when we get this in here, I have boards and stuff. Nobody can walk on my beds. If you walk on my beds, then you have to get in here with a tiller or a hoe and fluff it up again.
When you pull that up, you're going to find some creatures underneath it.
Yeah.
I found 2 gopher snakes mating underneath the plastic.
Well, that's interesting. Do they lock too, like other animals?
Yeah.
Bella questa. Non ho capito, cioè, allora scusate. Ho detto si spara.
Walking on my soil.
Poi pure questo ci me la faccio conosciuta, perché poi comunque gente che può essere sicuramente personale d'Italia. È inquietante. Dice, è inquietante. Dookie bro.
No, it's creepy. I don't see any cars. I hear neighbors shooting
auto, ma si sentono i vicini che sparano. Ah, ok. Quindi?
Guns. That's about it.
Già.
That was no, it's creepy. I don't see any cars. I hear neighbors shooting guns.
Così, dal nulla.
That's about it. That's an every day occurrence. It's probably 22. If I see anybody walking on my soil, when we get this in here, I have boards and stuff. Nobody can walk on my beds. If you walk on my beds, then you have to get in here with a tiller or a hoe and fluff it up again.
When you pull that up, you're going to find some creatures underneath it.
Yeah.
I found 2 gopher snakes mating underneath the plastic.
Well, that's interesting. Do they lock too, like other animals?
Yeah.
Huh. There's no money now that I'm legal. All that money that I thought I could put in the bank doesn't exist. I legally packaged my pot into little nitrogen sealed 8s through a distribution company. Currently, 90% of my inventory is still sitting in there. Yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow, but the future is not the black market, the future is the white market.
Ma bisogna vedere realmente poi.
Oh, that was a higher caliber.
Minchia.
Yeah, it's higher caliber. That's probably a 9. It's not close.
Cosa vuol dire?
Oh, that was a higher caliber. Yeah, it's higher caliber. That's probably a 9. It's not closer. It's just higher caliber. I have a lot to protect, and I don't want to lose all I've gained, including my freedom.
So you've grown here before?
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
All right. I never got to invite it up here before.
Before this regulation happened, this place was pretty wild. There's tweakers up and down the road all the time. It wasn't a good place to be.
Vabbè, che giustamente non girava. Alder Point, Garden.
You got characters of all walks of life coming out here, you know, and they're all like badass motherfuckers, you know?
Me and Sherry started snooping around. We called everybody's house on the mountain that I know of, but we couldn't find out anything. I'm telling him, what if it was your kid? Wouldn't you want your kid to come home?
It made a lot of people pick up the phone that would not have otherwise done so. And people started calling.
Che carino. Quella non è una pianta.
You know, as we started tracking down the story, basically, over and over and over again, people were telling essentially the same story.
Beh, evidentemente.
My buddy comes over and tells me, like, oh yeah, you know that Gary Rodriguez hit him. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, there's a guy that lives up the road, you know, up on top of the mountain that starts bragging about, you know, killing the guy. And tells me, like, oh yeah, you know that Gary Rodriguez.
Sherry, she went to this one person. But when
cioè praticamente, cioè io non l'ho capito, capito, penso un po'.
Supposedly like
no, assurdo, cioè vi rendete conto?
Sherry, she went to this one
top of the mountain that
cioè questo non l'avevo, fino a qua non l'avevo visto. Ok. Dai però, cos'è, minchia? Non è che stream su stream. È una streamata però. Che stronzata. Solo dovuto toccare.
You know, as we started tracking down the story, basically, over and over and over again, people were telling essentially the same story.
Capimmo che tu... Ok, ora parli il tizio dove...
My buddy comes over and
un mio amico mi chiese, conosci quel Garren Rodriguez?
Tells me like, oh yeah, you know that Gary Rodriguez kid? I'm like, yeah, and he's like...
Gli risposi di sì, e lui continuò, conosci quel Rodriguez? Uno che vive lassù.
Well, there's the guy that lives up the road, you know, up on top.
In cima alla che vive lassù in cima alla montagna. Ha iniziato a vantarsi.
The mountain that starts bragging about, you know, killing the guy.
Di averlo ammazzato. Che pezzo di... Cioè la gente è così schifosa.
Sherry, she went to this one person and she said, how come?
Porco
Up the
Dio.
mountain that starts bragging about, you know, killing the guy.
Perché? Quindi è stato proprio bastardo.
Sherry, she went to this one person and...
Ma perché?
Up the mountain that... And tells me up the mountain that starts bragging about, you know, killing the guy.
Sherry andò da un uomo e gli chiese.
She went to this one person and she said, how come Garrett's truck...
Come è finito il pick-up di Garrett Jewett Range? A Jewett Range?
Showed up on Jewett Ranch. And this guy said...
E lui, intendi quello che è morto?
Oh, you mean the dead boy?
She's like, what? Supposedly, like, his foot...
A quanto mi disse, ma porca puttana maiala.
Sherry, she went to this one person and she said, how come Garrett's truck showed up on Jewett Ranch? And this guy said, oh, you mean the dead boy?
I'm just like, what?
Ci rimasi male.
Supposedly...
A quanto mi disse il suo piede?
Like his foot, you know, like the guy made it...
Pare che quel tizio abbia...
And this guy said, oh, you mean the dead boy?
I'm just like, what?
Ci rimasi di
like his
a
foot,
quanto mi disse
you
il
know,
suo
like
piede,
the guy made a
pare che
comment
quel
saying
tizio
that the
abbia
guy's,
detto
you know, Garrett's foot was
che il
still
piede di
sticking out
Garrett
of the
spuntava
grave or
ancora dalla
something.
fossa.
His foot was sticking
Il suo
up
piede
out of the
spuntava
ground.
dalla terra. Ok,
That's insane.
allucinante.
It made me sick,
Mi
actually.
venne la nausea.
You got a lot of people pissed off, you know,
Guardate, si
like,
arrabbiarono molti, eravamo tutti
they're like,
sconvolti da
what,
quello
you
che
know,
aveva
everybody
detto
was just
quell'uomo.
shocked that this guy said that he did that, and he
Il
was
fatto
like
che si
bragging about it.
vantassi. Non certo, poi non devono che diventi
The dead boy.
quello che è morto.
At that point, we didn't know he was
Non
dead for
avevamo
sure.
ancora la certezza.
But when that was said, that was
Quell'uomo ha
pretty
visto
much,
così
closed it right there.
per noi diventa chiaro. Ma quando quell'uomo ha visto così per noi diventa chiaro. Povero.
When I heard that someone potentially killed Garrett, I was just almost didn't even want to think about the fact that he really wouldn't ever come back. And I feel like that's something that even like my brain still kind of doesn't fully accept.
It's the worst feeling I think I've ever had. It's I even had to start taking medication because of it. I couldn't even get out of bed. I didn't want to see anyone, talk to anyone, be around or do anything. Something I never could have even dreamed of happening. Who killed my son?
There are missing people in Humboldt County every year, and frequently they will turn up in a day or two. But sometimes it ends up in violence.
Cioè sempre. Ma perché la gente...
Unfortunately, it seems like this is where it happened to Garrett. Obviously, you're dealing with horrendous things that you would never want to wish on your enemy.
Perché la polizia ha fatto rimanere più bastardi e più bastardi sono trasformati in bastardi che si diventano scomparsi, morti, dal 2013, quando io ero in vacanza.
I heard the man that allegedly shot Garrett.
Io ero in vacanza.
Garrett was owed money that the guy that owed it didn't want to pay.
Cosa non ho capito?
I heard the man that allegedly shot Garrett.
Sparato a Garrett.
Garrett was owed money that the guy that owed it didn't want to pay.
What I heard is that he owed the kid $50,000 and decided to, just kill him instead of paying the kid. I guess the kid invested his own money.
Aveva investito i suoi soldi.
Being a worker, you know, for you to come up here and work hard and give your all to something, and then for somebody to just like take you out because they owe you money, that's like stupid shit.
È un gesto a codardi, certo.
That's fucked up.
We heard this guy was using people to guard his property that were using methamphetamine, and possibly himself. His behavior was somewhat consistent with methamphetamine use. He was extremely erratic. This guy was using people to guard.
Ma chi questi? Lui? Bah. Per difendere la sua proprietà, quell'uomo ingaggia... forse quello che l'ha ucciso.
Property that were using
dei drogati di metanfetamina, forse lo era pure lui.
Methamphetamine, and possibly himself. His behavior was
il suo comportamento sembrerebbe confermare questa storia.
Somewhat consistent with methamphetamine use. He was extremely erratic.
Era
This guy was using people to guard his property that were using methamphetamine, and possibly himself. His behavior was somewhat consistent with methamphetamine use. He was extremely erratic. He was temperamental. He was paranoid.
This individual seemed to have a
già in passato aveva minacciato qualcuno con la violenza.
History of threatening people with violence. We had heard
L'abbiamo saputo da gente che aveva lavorato per lui.
From people that had worked for him as trimmers, people that expressed
e che si diceva terrorizzata dall'idea di averci di nuovo a che fare.
A fear of being around this person ever again.
Certo. Quando pensi a questo fatto e la gente per te è spazzatura. Scavando in giro trovammo un altro giovane. Che merda, sempre quello magari.
Found another young man knew something about.
Era diventata un'abitudine fare lavorare la gente in quel modo e poi ammazzarla, che si prendeva tutto lui sempre. Che sapeva qualcosa della scomparsa di Rodriguez, cioè praticamente chi lo sapeva.
The Rodriguez boy coming up missing. I wasn't there that.
Io non c'ero, ma Thierry mi telefonò dicendo vieni subito qui.
But Sherry called me and said, "Get your ass over here." And I said, "What's up?"
Di chi si
parla? And this is...
Quel giorno quest'altro giovane le raccontò che quel giorno quest'altro giovane le raccontò cos'era successo.
When she had been told by this other young man what had happened. Was there when Garrett was killed.
Sosteneva di essere stato presente.
According to him.
That night, the witness was.
Il testimone era con Garrett quella sera.
With Garrett.
Oh! Che cazzo.
According to this witness, Garrett went to ask him for his money.
Garrett era andato a chiedere i soldi di quell'uomo.
Rather sizable sum of money. There were several reasons to think that was a legitimate issue.
After an argument, the guy told him, "I'll go get it."
Vado a prenderli.
He went in the house and came back out with a gun.
Uscì con una pistola.
Aimed at Garrett.
La puntò.
Shot him.
Una persona così tranquilla. Diceva,
the alleged murderer. He looked at this guy.
L'altro giovane.
And told him, "You work here.
Tu lavori qui.
Get this shit cleaned up."
Che cazzo di merda. Quello rimasto scioccato.
Of course, it was a bloody boy, but he was getting cleaned up. And they loaded him up in the murderer's vehicle and was taken out to Jewett Ranch. This witness, he didn't want to be a part of it. He was scared.
He told us to share.
Yeah, he said he was scared and he had to help move the body because he was scared. He figured he would just get shot too. This witness, he didn't want to be a part of it. He was scared.
He told us to share.
Yeah, he said he was scared and he had to help move the body because he was scared. He figured he would just get shot too.
At that point,
We had enough corroborating evidence to know the name of the person who allegedly shot Garrett.
So I took everything to law enforcement, and my confidential informant, I told her, you need to call
di chiamare lo sceriffo.
the sheriff's
Devi chiamare
department.
lo sceriffo.
And she did.
E lei l'ha fatto.
But the sheriff's department,
Ma lo sceriffo Downey
Sheriff Downey, didn't seem to be making
non era molto interessato al caso. Tu, pezzo di merda. Certo, che cazzo te ne fotte? Pezzo di merda.
an effort at all on this case.
Tutti quelli così che se ne fottono di...
And the Garrett Rodriguez case.
Certo, tanto se non devono sequestrare e arrestare quella persona, che cazzo gliene fotte se è già è morta, lo devono cercare. Che noia. Cioè, capite, pezzi di merda. Nel caso di Garrett Rodriguez non c'erano abbastanza indizi di colpevolezza. No, basta.
There is not enough probable cause to link this subject
questo è il pezzo di merda.
to, let's say,
Di ricollegare il sospetto a un omicidio o a un crimine. È proprio impossibile. C'è uno che gli racconta tutta la scena ed è impossibile ricollegare.
a
Che cazzo
murder
di
or to a crime that deputies don't have the authority to make an arrest or even a detention for a long.
Però hai capito, le autorità non avevano abbastanza per arrestarlo. A me per 9 piante mi hanno arrestato per un giorno e mi avrebbero arrestato pure di più e mi volevano dare un anno. Ora faccio i lavori socialmente utili per un anno, se no mi sarei fatto un anno di galera per 9 piante. E questi non possono, e sto coglione insieme agli altri non possono arrestare un assassino perché non ci sono prove. E le mie prove quali erano? Le piante, basta. Che merda, che mondo di merda. Qui e gli altri posti come qui. E come lì. Che ci sono queste persone.
And you know, we talk about hearsay and people talking to other people, but you can't base your probable cause on hearsay.
No, non bastava. No.
Murder Mountain, as long as I...
Questo qui ha fatto questo, io non ho detto... Ma... Comunque non capisco perché sparisce sotto...
And with the sheriff's office was always...
È sempre stato un... Sì, infatti, perché voi non ci andavate perché gli stronzi vi uscivano dalle orecchie, la paura, per questo. Perché voi andate solo dove non c'è nessun pericolo e rompete i coglioni alle persone che non hanno fatto niente.
The outlaw place.
Per sentirvi
When we would go out and patrol, we would encounter verbal threats. They don't want law enforcement in the area. So it's really difficult to effectively do your job.
Ma che cazzo dovete fare il vostro loro bene? Che secondo voi perché vi dicono che fate schifo, non vi vogliono là? Perché sanno che in realtà non fate proprio un cazzo, a parte che poi preoccuparvi invece di quello che c'ha la piantagione e non di quell'altro che ha ammazzato. Ma che schifo di mondo.
I have vowed not to end this case until there's some justice for Garrett and his family. We need to have some answers.
Certo, solo per il livello informativo.
The sheriff's department was focusing on finding Garrett's body, but to my knowledge, they've never talked to the witness.
Che cazzo vedi? Cioè, questo documentario non parla solo, non è che ti dice la marijuana e porco Dio è legale. No, assolutamente. No, sta dicendo in realtà come realmente sono le forze dell'ordine in posti come questi. Se ne fottono completamente.
Ti
rovinano la vita se tu c'hai qualche po' di droga, ma se sei morto e te la rovinano un altro ammazzandoti non è problema loro. Secondo me quel giovane era il testimone più importante e non solo, forse non l'hanno ascoltato, probabilmente l'hanno fatto anche uccidere, perché non avendolo ascoltato poteva essere ucciso in qualsiasi momento, dato che ancora non ne aveva parlato, non aveva avuto l'occasione di parlare. Ma sicuramente così è stato, perché hanno trovato un altro corpo, quindi.
This guy was the most critical person to interview.
Era poi.
Someone needs to talk to him.
If you wanted to find a
But
to my knowledge, they've never talked to the witness. He was the person, I felt that this guy was the most critical person to interview.
Ma perché sparisce?
But to my knowledge, they've never talked to the witness. He was the person, I felt that this guy was the most critical.
Secondo me quel giovane era il testimone più importante.
Person to interview. Someone needs to talk to him.
Con lui.
If you wanted to find it, do you think you could?
Poterlo trovare.
I can
Ma che cazzo dici? Che ti piangono l'occhio talmente sei miserabile, non ha trovato nudo e niente.
Find anyone.
Poi fuori vedere la spedizia da Dino Signore che si offre per Eureka!
This is the big drum roll. We're gonna find out what they give me. So we'll see. I'm excited to get in. Let's go. Having to come here and actually report to people, and it's a job now. I've never had to do paperwork before. I don't want to do this. This sucks. I hate paperwork. I'd rather be in my garden, watering my plants, leafing, just being there with them. This fucking sucks. Alright, here we go. Wish me luck. I try not to smell like pot when I go in there, so I don't take a bong hit right before I go in there. It's the only thing I don't do. I have a lot of really good genetics that I want to develop and I want to hoard to myself and maybe sell to the highest bidder kind of stuff. So this means a lot to me. This is a big deal today. Hi, I'm Jason, Tukey Brothers. Thanks, guys. Woo! Hey, Floyd. We got a lot of work to do, buddy. What they give us? They gave us, not a lot, but they gave us some square footage and we got a fucking plant. Nursery? And a nursery. Bong hits. They gave us the intern permit, now the rest is up to us to actually make it happen. Woohoo! This is huge. This is all in-house. I can make seeds. I can sell my genetics to other people. I get 100% of the profit. I don't have to go into partners with a nursery. I don't need anybody. I can get my own employees. I can get my own team. I can get my own shit. This is it. I hate that ball. My foot's in the door and it's not getting out of the door. They're gonna have to cut it off. We're about to take over the world. Let's get the whole mountain.
We found tidbits of information about the person in question that he killed Garrett. This guy was a real scumbag.
We learned that he was from Indiana. People in Indiana wanted to tell me about his past.
Stories about the crimes he's committing there. He's pulled this time and time again, and he keeps doing it. He's getting away with it.
I called the police department, told them where Garrett's body was buried.
What we heard was that Garrett was buried on the Jewett Ranch.
The police department.
Ma la polizia ci rispose di non poter entrare in quella proprietà. Cosa? No, raga, questo è il colmo del colmo. Cioè, la polizia ti dice che non puoi entrare in un posto dove c'è stato dove c'è un morto sotterrato. Cioè, quindi loro possono fare solo quando devono rompere i coglioni alla brava gente, perché alla cattiva gente si cagano di sopra.
They said that they cannot go on that property. It's private property. It's guarded. That was one of the excuses they gave me for not pursuing anything.
Allora,
they said that they cannot go on that property. It's private property.
Era una proprietà privata e custodia è in custodia o è in custodia, cioè, boh. Ma poi, ma cosa vuol dire che è privato anche se fosse in custodia? Che cazzo vuol dire? Che fanno quello che vogliono, no? Fanno quello che vogliono con noi.
The police department, they said that they cannot go on that property. It's
Privata e custodita. E che vuol dire?
private property. It's guarded. That was one of the
È una delle scuse che hanno usato per non fare nulla. Cioè, raga, ma veramente, vi rendete conto che schifo? E noi dobbiamo ancora credere che la polizia faccia qualcosa alle forze dell'ordine. Guardate che schifo. Fanno di tutto pur di non dare una mano a chi veramente devono, e poi se la pigliano col ragazzino come me che si fa una pianta e gli vogliono da un anno, sbatterlo in galera. Ma perché cosa? Perché ho ammazzato qualcuno? Ma io non parlo per me, cioè io parlo in generale, parlo per me perché giustamente avendo fatto l'esperienza propria dico, ma che schifo è uno schifo, è uno schifo. Cioè tu, poi in America, cioè non è dici in America, cioè per andare a scavare e trovare il morto gli dicono no, in quella proprietà non possiamo andare. Cioè un po' come a Biella quando gli dici guarda che là fanno questo e questo e questo, e voi rompete i coglioni a me, ma non possiamo. Che vuol dire non possiamo? Ma sì.
excuses they gave me for not pursuing anything.
The sheriff's response, well, it's a bit...
Lo sceriffo ci ha risposto, porco Dio, come fa a sparire
It's
se metti in
guarded.
pausa?
That was one of the excuses they gave me for not pursuing anything.
The sheriff's response, well, it's a big area. You know, where do we look? This is just hearsay. I mean, they didn't seem to be interested.
And I kept
Ho continuato a cercare
trying
di ragionarci e di
to
trattare con
reason with
loro.
them and deal with them, and it just got to the point where they just started ignoring my phone calls, and they wouldn't call me back.
E non mi richiamavano.
So let's say you have information, you're non-law enforcement, but I have information. I've heard the talk around town. Some people have told me this happened, and everyone knows. Everyone knows. I'll tell you right now, you'll never stand in a court of law with that type of information.
Oh, hai capito? Che bravi! Per lavarsi le mani. Chi sono queste mani arrappate?
Initially, the person of interest left the area, and then he came back.
Vabbè.
People were calling me and telling me of sightings. Someone would call me and say he's back on his property. Someone would say we saw him driving around. I was getting calls from Indiana. When are you guys going to pick him up? When's the warrant coming out? What the heck's going on? They felt that he was almost boastful about, hey, I can come back here anytime I want. I'm invincible.
Ma è vero, ma è così, siamo noi quelli che non... siamo noi calpestati, i delinquenti sono... quelli invisibili sono i delinquenti, che tanto non hanno niente da perdere e non perderanno mai niente, quindi anche se poi arresti ci fa pure un favore perché ci fai da mangiare e da dormire.
Cops weren't doing anything. You gotta do
Quindi
something.
dobbiamo pensarci noi.
And the longer, you know...
Allora quindi è giusto farsi giustizia da se stessi, da soli, no? Se la polizia non ci pensa, per tempo passava almeno sarebbero stati.
time draws out here, the less they're
Disposti
gonna
ad
do.
agire. Disposti ad agire, le forze dell'ordine dovevano aspettare lo più elevati. Sento che sono passando più di 4 mesi da quando allo sceriffo. Che cosa ha scoperto?
I felt that, okay, I'm going to hear any minute
Dire da un momento all'altro che avevano un testimone valido
that they have a good statement, there was arrest being
e che lo avevano
made.
arrestato.
It was
Potevamo solo
the
aspettare.
waiting game.
Aspettare che cosa? Che sarebbe un miracolo? Che la polizia non è mica...
I was really hopeful.
Ma nemmeno quello che deve. Speravo davvero che si muovesse qualcosa, ma così non è stato. Ma figuriamo, ma no, vabbè, ma questo...
Something was going.
Cioè, questo è molto scontato, cioè scontato nel senso che, almeno per me e per molti, queste cose sono normali perché si sa benissimo quello che fanno e quello che non fanno, principalmente. Ma per una persona normale dovrebbe essere una cosa assurda, ma... Quindi, scandalizzatevi di questo, non di quelle stronzate che dicono... Tipo,
And I think the family-
abbiamo ancora una volta bloccato il narcotraffico. Io chi sono Pablo Escobar? Bisogna rinunciare alla libertà per questi fatti personali. Fatto personale? La cannabis è un fatto personale? Il mio fatto personale? E che c'ho 1 milione di anni? Vabbè.
Was more than patient.
Questo è il mondo qua, soprattutto a Biella.
So-
Biella, non venite mai ragazzi. Biella è il buco di culo dell'Italia dove farete la fine, una fine peggiore di uno stronzo che esce dal buco del culo. Non so cos'altro avremmo potuto fare, niente, guardare in faccia gli
I don't know what else
il fatto che non fanno niente.
could be done. I know that the community.
Però la comunità, alcuni degli abitanti ne avevano avuto abbastanza, e certo, beh, così deve essere, eppure in Italia, però non c'è mai nessuno che ne ha abbastanza in Italia, e quindi la pigliamo un culo.
Some of the people who live there finally had enough.
The police knew who killed Garrett.
Azzo pure, quindi ma no,
They did nothing.
Assurdo.
They did nothing about it.
Assurdo. Allora, cioè, praticamente a loro gli interessava rompere i coglioni solamente quando l'erba era legale e coltivavano. Dal momento in cui la cosa è diventata legale, bla bla bla, non era più un problema se la gente moriva, tanto non era più colpa dell'erba, quindi a chi sa pigliavano. Persona a persona non importa, persona a droga importa, persona a persona no. Cioè io contro persona, ok, io con l'erba contro una persona, allora è un problema perché io c'ho l'erba.
Let them all kill themselves.
Fra loro. Hai visto? Ecco,
That's the feeling that I get.
mi hanno questa impressione. No, l'hanno dato un
People kill each other up here. It's just, you know, it's a couple gangsters dead. I mean, it's, you know, they don't. Not only do they not care, they actually look at it as a good thing.
I
think they think we're stupid.
Positivo, secondo me.
Quite frankly.
Ci credono negli stupidi. Beh, ma pure gli italiani.
Who was Garrett? He was nobody to them.
Nessuno. Vabbè, ma anche noi per l'Italia siamo nessuno. Anche se
It's bullshit.
Che stronzata. No, che schifo.
A code of the mountain. Take the law into your own hands.
Certo, ma dovrebbe essere così pure qua allora. Che bastardi che facevano muscia, che ora ammazzano per un
On Murder Mountain, I should say the majority of the population are isolationists.
Isolazionisti, cioè che se ne stanno soli.
After On Murder Mountain, I should say the majority of the population are isolationists. After Vietnam, I moved up here.
Venuto qui dopo il Vietnam.
I didn't want any part of the city anymore. For society.
Beh, anch'io.
I lived on 20 acres that, up until 10 years ago, my nearest neighbor was a mile away.
Bello, così deve essere.
When was the last time you were in a restaurant?
To sit down and eat.
40 anni.
1979.
Del 70. 40 anni davvero.
That's what war does. It changes people. 79.
Infatti la guerra cambia.
That's what war does. It changes people.
Vabbè, questo sì, ma tu non mi pare che però sia stato tu a ammazzare quel ragazzo. Quindi
Garrett,
l'effetto è fatto
I didn't know him very well. He worked for my neighbor.
Those are rifle holes, except for on the rear quarter panel there. That's shotgun.
Ci rendiamoci conto,
Except for
sono fuori
on the
da un
rear quarter
fucile,
panel
tranne
there. That's shotgun.
Cioè, quindi
It's a different world out here. It's in the wind up here. Murder. It's contagious.
Vabbè. Certo, poi dici che tanto che cazzo me ne vedo, mi rotto il cazzo e mi sono merito di morire, però poi ci sono quelli che lo fanno tutti. Dove ha scoperto che uno indipendente gli ha rubato delle piante.
The guy who stole from me, it was an apprenticeship to see if he was going to work out. And obviously it didn't work out. The guy stole.
Non gli è andata
The
bene.
guy who stole from me, it was an apprenticeship to see if he was going to work out. And obviously it didn't work out.
Non è andata bene, vabbè.
The guy stole 150 plants, and now I'm losing a fourth of a greenhouse. I would say it's at least 25, if not 30, 40 pounds. Once I found out he was stealing from me, I start slapping him and punching him. He's moving and bobbing his head. I end up punching him in the back of the head a few times and breaking my hands. Then he pressed charges. It was a mistake. I shouldn't have laid my hands on him. I got frustrated. Whatever the consequences are, I'll face up to him, or whatever. And as I was hitting him, he's like, "You're the fourth boss to hit me." So this is the next generation. It being almost July 1st, I'm way behind. These things should already be up to my waist. Started way late because of the regulations. I wanted to make sure I wasn't breaking the law and jeopardizing the future of me growing up here on this mountain. Started late, but better late than never. There it is. I try to take care of these puppies. They're my babies. Let's do it right here. I'm very competitive. I won the Golden Tarps 2016. Then I won the Emerald Cup after that. Let's do it right here. I'm very competitive. I won the Golden Tarps 2016.
Golden Tarp.
Then I won the Emerald Cup after that. Other growers were buying my product. They were coming over and they saw the Skittles I grew and they were buying ounces of quarter pounds. That's how I knew it was special. I already knew it was special, but that's how I really knew it was when other growers were buying your shit. Leave the bong. I absolutely know I'm going to win awards this year. I want to win Tommy Chong's Blazer Cup. It's always been an idol of mine. I grew up watching his movies. I'd like to win it, and I'd like him to approach me and be like, "Hey man, I'm gonna get a bag of awards this year." I want to win Tommy Chong's.
Tommy Chong. Tommy Chong Blazer Cup. No, Tommy Chong Blazer Cup. È sempre stato un mio idolo.
I like to win it.
Bella rega. Dai cazzo.
Growers were buying my product. They were coming over and they saw the Skittles I grew and they were buying ounces of quarter pounds. That's how I knew it was special. I already knew it was special, but that's how I really knew it was when other growers were buying your shit. Leave the bong. I absolutely know I'm going to win awards this year. I want to win Tommy Chong's Blazer Cup. It's always been an idol of mine. I grew up watching his movies. I'd like to win it, and I'd like him to approach me and be like, "Hey man, can I get a bag of that?" And I'd be like, "This one had your name on it, bro." It's coming back around. That's obsolete. He's wasting people's money. I'm doing this. If you want to come up here and get me, then here I am. Come bust me with a helicopter. I'd sue him.
Infatti.
The whole plan of doing something about Garrett Rodriguez's death started with, Neil.
Sure.
Neil was a very funny guy. Like, he had jokes. Well, he had like 6 jokes. And he told them all the time. But he was easy to like.
He was a strong-arm kind of character, but he was a gentle guy. He really was. Big Teddy Bear kind of stats, but he didn't get stoned ever, When he did, he'd just laugh, and he was funny as hell. He was a strong-arm kind of character, but he was a gentle guy. He really was. Big Teddy, very kind of stats, but he didn't get stoned ever, you know? When he did, he'd just laugh, and he was funny as hell.
Neil had a soft spot about Garrett.
Neil had just recently lost his son.
He was told that
Penso un po'. Gli hanno detto che aveva giocato alla roulette russa. Come? Jonathan Decker Tolman. When tomorrow starts without me, don't I think we're far apart. For every time you think of me, I'm right here in your earth. Poverino pure lui. Cazzo, gli hanno detto che aveva giocato alla roulette russa, ma stiamo scherzando, ma che merda è?
Son decided to play Russian roulette, and he always knew
Ma sapeva che non era vero.
in his heart that wasn't true, that there was something
Che era successo
else that had
qualcos'altro.
happened.
Povero. Ma pure sto signore sembra di conoscerlo, cazzo.
He knew he probably wasn't ever going to
E sapeva che non avrebbe mai scoperto la verità.
get the truth about it either, you know? Like, that's what he was
Non avrebbe ottenuto altro.
told, and that's all he was going to get, and he just
Non
hated it.
sopportava l'idea. Non
He put
sopportava
himself
l'idea.
in Garrett's.
Si era messo nei panni dei genitori di Garrett. Immagino. Si è suicidato forse.
parents' shoes, you know, and
E quello che aveva provato non gli era piaciuto affatto.
he didn't like the way that felt at all. One night he told me, he said,
Una sera mi disse che meritavano di sapere dove fosse il figlio.
their parents need to know where their son's at. They need to know so
Per poterlo seppellire.
they can put him to rest. They've got
Dovevano
to be
ritrovarlo.
able to find their kid. Scott was Neil's best friend.
Scott era il miglior amico di Neil.
They did everything
Facendo tutto
together.
insieme,
Scott was a
tutto
good
insieme.
person.
Scott era una brava persona.
A lot of kids called Scott
Tanti bambini lo chiamavano papà,
He was the
il
dad
papà
of the
della
mountain.
montagna.
He was one of the leaders
Era uno dei capi locali.
of this community in a place with
In questo luogo senza legge. Hai capito?
no authority. He took it upon himself
Lui cercava di mediare fra le varie parti e di andare a fondo dei problemi. Questo qua praticamente che gioca adesso si è buttato in una casa e pensa che cazzo farà, si costruirà una piantina e vivrà così. Che cazzo fa questo? Boh.
to get all the parties involved and get to the bottom of things.
Scott used to say, do what's right,
Diceva sempre fa la cosa
not what's easy.
giusta, non quella
They
facile.
pretty much
Quei due mantenevano la pace nella comunità.
kept the peace for everybody. You know, if somebody had a problem,
Se qualcuno aveva un problema si rivolgeva a Scott.
they'd go to Scott and he would handle it.
They really helped
Aiutavano davvero la comunità, saranno stati dei fuorilegge,
this community.
ma
And even if they were outlaws, they were good, honest
erano persone oneste.
people. I mean, they made other people around them good, honest people.
Erano persone oneste?
They really helped this community. And even if they were outlaws, they were good, honest people. I mean, they made other people around them good, honest
E
people.
rendevano onesti anche gli altri. Ma c'è sempre la
It was
sorta di
Thanksgiving.
bravo sulle persone.
We were still cooking dinner.
Era il ringraziamento.
And even if they were outlaws,
Penso,
they were good, honest
immagino
people.
pure questo.
I mean, they made other people around them good, honest people.
It was Thanksgiving.
Era il ringraziamento.
We were still cooking
Stavamo
dinner.
preparando la cena.
Turkey and
Perché le
potatoes.
patate avevano
We had
in
pies in
forno
the oven.
le torte. Avevano in forno le
I'm
torte.
sitting there
Stavo guardando la TV quando arrivò Scott.
in the room watching TV, and Scott comes in the room, sits right next to me.
E si sedette di fianco a me senza dire una parola.
And
allora forse
he doesn't say a word, you know, he just sits down next to me, and then
poco dopo arrivò anche Neil. Allora no, che cazzo.
shortly after Neil comes in and sits on the other
E si sedette dall'altra parte.
side of me, you know. So they're both talking,
E io stavo in mezzo, mentre loro due parlavano.
you know, with me in between them. Neil goes,
Neil disse: farò qualcosa per la storia di Garrett Rodriguez.
I'm going to do something about Garrett Rodriguez. And
E Scott, va bene, andiamo. Va bene, andiamo.
God was like, okay, well, let's go.
Neil thought
Neil sapeva che probabilmente sarebbe finito in prigione.
that he was probably going to be going to prison. He was okay with that, as long
E
as the
andava
parents.
bene, bastava che i genitori di Garrett sapessero dove era il figlio. Queste sono persone, cazzo. Senza motivo cercano di dare una mano alla prossima.
Knew where their kid was.
Cosa che la polizia non fa. Ma non la polizia, le forze
There was like a whole
dell'ordine.
group of
C'era un
people.
bel gruppo di persone.
We egged them and
Noi li incoraggiammo, e offrimmo loro da bere. C'erano delle persone. non-
As long as the parents knew where their kid was.
There was like a whole
C'era un
group of
bel gruppo
people.
di persone.
we egged them and
Noi
dug at them and got a
li
couple of them drinking.
incoraggiammo e offrimmo loro da bere.
And a bottle of vodka
Una
and
bottiglia di vodka.
it's easy to egg guys on, you know? You get a bunch of mountain boys. The alleged murderer. You knew where the body.
Sapeva il sospetto omicida sapeva dove si trovava il corpo, ma non lo voleva confessare.
And he wasn't going to tell nobody. Well, he was going to tell these
Con quegli uomini ne avrebbe parlato, garantito.
boys. Guaranteed.
Minchia, minchia. Ma allora sono loro che comandano.
Thanksgiving. Just about at the time when everybody was sitting down.
Perché c'è stata una scena dove la polizia veniva scortata da persone con i quad e un furgone. Quindi voglio capire, cioè, praticamente quelli erano veramente i capi della comunità. Forse quello lì ha sgarrato, non doveva, proprio perché proprio quando in genere tutti iniziano a cenare,
Dinners. A plethora of
vicino a casa mia passarono tantissimi veicoli.
vehicles went past my place. We're always aware when somebody comes
Cioè,
up the
prima
hill.
sempre che qualcuno risaleva
We're
la
hyper
collina.
alert.
Ci
A
accorgiamo
plethora of
ci
vehicles went
accorgiamo
past
sempre
my
se qualcuno sale la
place.
collina, siamo molto attenti.
We're always aware when
Accorgiamo
somebody
sempre
comes
se
up the
qualcuno
hill.
risale la collina.
We're
Siamo
hyper
molto
alert.
attenti.
Everybody drives up.
Andiamo fino lassù.
Did you have a mask on?
Yes.
Una maschera. Che ha detto? Che cazzo.
I think
Ok. No, perché cioè, gli ha chiesto se forse se avevano le maschere, ma
everybody drives up.
andiamo fin lassù.
Did you have a mask on?
Indossavate una maschera?
Yes. I think the only
Gli unici a non indossarla erano Scott e
people
Neil.
that didn't actually wear masks were Scott and Neil.
It was curious because it
Era
was late.
strano, ma erano tardi.
There had been some
c'erano
rip-offs.
stati problemi
So I followed them up.
non ho capito.
I think the only people that didn't actually wear masks with Scott, you know.
E certo che quando pare, anche se era buono.
I was curious because it was
Era
late.
strano, era molto
There had been some
tardi e c'erano
rip-offs.
stati problemi di
So I
recente.
followed them up.
Quindi li seguii.
It's dark.
Era buio e non volevo farmi sparare, quindi feci piano.
I don't want to be shot, so I'm quiet.
There's a couple of people that are coming outside of
Dalla casa uscirono un paio di persone.
the house. And one of them was this big
Una era quello.
guy, you know. Neil was just like yelling,
Neil gli urlò: cosa ne hai fatto di Garrett?
what did you do with Gary? And this guy's not
Lui non voleva
wanting to
dire.
tell us.
Come prima si montava, ora no.
They're like looking like they're gonna
Sembrava
square
che
up with each
esisteva
other.
un regolamento di conti.
And then Neil's like, fuck this.
Neil esclamò: ma fottiti. Fanculo, pezzo di merda.
They're like looking like they're gonna
Sembrava
square
che
up with each
esisteva un
other.
regolamento di conti.
And then Neil's
Neil
like,
esclamò:
fuck this.
fottiti. No, aspetta, prima di fare cosa. Ah, Nelly, no, cosa hai fatto?
What did you do with Gary?
Lui non
And
voleva
this guy's
dirlo.
not wanting to tell us. They're like looking like they're gonna square up with each other.
Prima parlavano, ora un po'.
And then Neil's like, fuck this.
Fottiti. Ma fottiti. Pezzo di merda.
Bob comes up, you know,
Bob colpì l'uomo con la pistola.
pistol whips him. The gun ends up going
Un
off.
colpo accidentale.
Shot his ear.
Lo colpì all'orecchio e
It's like a, you know, flash one. You know, he let out this big like,
urlò
woo.
pieni polmoni. Cosa non ho capito?
Shot his ear.
Allora, scusate, la parte finale, cioè, voglio capire bene. Allora.
Bob comes up.
Bob. Allora, quello è Neil e Scott. Bob. Vabbè.
You know,
Con la
pistol whips him. The gun ends
E partì un colpo accidentale.
up going off. Shot his ear.
E lo colpì all'orecchio e era una ferita superficiale.
It's like a, you know, flash wound. You know, he
Neil urlò a pieni polmoni.
let out this big like, woo.
Walking up, I could hear yelling.
Delle grida.
There had been a couple of
C'erano stati
shots.
un paio di colpi.
That's nothing new.
Nulla di nuovo.
They got closer.
Mi avvicinai.
I'm in back of the whole group.
Era alle spalle del gruppo. Ero alle spalle del gruppo.
The alleged was
Questo
shot
omicida era stato
3
colpito
times.
3 volte.
Calf,
Al
breast,
polpaccio, al petto e al sottostante.
crease. Being a father, I felt strongly for
Un padre
Garrett's
anch'io,
father.
il padre di Garrett.
I'd like to see
Voglio
justice.
vedere fatta giustizia, qualcuno deve
That means
pagare
somebody
per
has to
quello.
pay for the murder. I asked him point
I
blank.
poi hanno
He
chiesto
said,
all'uomo
"Where's
dove
Artie
si porta il
buried?"
corpo.
Everybody knows now.
Sono tutti come.
You can't deny it
Hanno tutti
anymore.
non
It's
puoi
out.
più negarlo.
Where's the body?
Dov'è il corpo? Minchia Dio cane, così si funziona. E questi non ci sono, sbirri no, sono molte meglio. Beh, però nel prossimo episodio continuerà la storia, penso sicuramente, ma ora è tempo di lasciare spazio a me. Scherzo, raga. Bella, comunque spero che questa idea vi sia piaciuta. Sicuramente qualcuno farà lo stesso. Però ho voluto portare
The first thing I ever heard about Murder Mountain was
ricordo in Omlet.
back in the 70s. Scott Johnson had a couple of trimmers working for him on his property. Scott was one of the originals on the mountain, you know.
I think Scott's intentions when he first started off up here was to kind of create like a community where they could all take care of each other.
Scott and his best friend Clark.
were up there growing weed, and Scott found some trimmers, and he brought them up to his house.
The couple, Michael Bear Carson and his wife Susan, were traveling through Humboldt County.
Unbeknownst to Scott and everybody else on the property and throughout Rancho, in their spare time, as two trimmers would sneak off and commit horrible murders. They would chop bodies up and hide them throughout Scott's property. Show.
Allora, scusate raga, ma qua mi sto... Cioè praticamente... Ma minchia, ma sta montagna ha tirato i peggiori malati dopo che gli sbirri hanno fatto diventare quel posto un posto di delinquenti. Cioè, questi qua praticamente...
The couple, Michael Bear Carson and his wife Susan, were traveling through Humboldt County.
Unbeknownst to Scott and everybody else on the property and throughout Rancho, in their spare time, as two trimmers would sneak off and commit horrible murders. They would chop bodies up and hide them throughout Scott's property.
They were on this holy mission, you know, it was like a mission from God. They were killing people that they thought were sinners or like evil, you know, like witches.
One victim was Clark Stevens, a young man who moved to Humboldt County to grow marijuana in the early 80s.
Clark was his best friend. He died because Scott brought these people up there, you know, and he felt responsible for him.
The legend of Murder Mountain took hold at that point, like, everything's just a Murder Mountain thing now.
The area is referred to as Murder Mountain, known as Murder Mountain.
He felt responsible for him.
The legend of Murder Mountain took hold at that point, like, everything's just a Murder Mountain thing now.
The area is referred to as Murder Mountain, known as Murder Mountain. Murder Mountain.
With a history of violence and missing people.
There's been a lot of murders everywhere, but for some reason it's stuck here. The name's stuck here. Which is dumb. They should call it Widow Mountain.
Se vi interessa questa serie, diciamo così, anche se è stata più provata, vi consiglio di seguirla perché a titolo informativo, non di informazione, è molto interessante, anche solo per capire un po'